Okay, so welcome to another stream, Sunday stream. We're gonna do something different today. Because I don't feel like playing any games, but I want to do something like football related. We're gonna do some squad building, and this is basically just gonna be research. And in the future, I might build this team inside of eFootball. It's basically just going through the team squad, like historic squads, picking out players that can fit into the team, and basically building the team inside of PES Master. They have like a squad building function over there, like a feature that we're gonna use to build a team. And yeah, maybe you get something out of it. Also, get some ideas on how to build a team. And no one's tuned into the live stream yet, but if you're watching this on the replay, welcome to the stream. And I might chop this up into like shorter videos as well. So the first team we're gonna build is Ajax. So we're gonna start with, basically we're gonna use transfermarkt.com as the source. We're gonna use their site to, basically we can filter by season and we can see which players were in the squad in that particular year and season, and we can pick out like the top players we want to have in our squad. We're gonna go, instead of going from the current squad, the current year, and back to 2010, we're gonna go the other way around. Because I feel like if we start with the current team, we're basically just gonna fill the team with current players. Because we don't know which players we have going backwards in time. Right, so it's better to start back in time, pick out the absolute best players, and then fill the rest of the team once we get closer to the current day and the current season. I think that's the best way to do it. So with Ajax right here, we are going to start 2010, 2011, and we're going to take a look at their squad. And once we find some players we want to use, who currently also are still playing, that's the key thing, they obviously have to still be playing. And this is, 12 years ago, so it's basically going to be like veteran players in their 30s who are still actually playing, so it's going to be a lot of good players. Obviously, which is the entire point. We want to build like the best team with players from this club. So I think we're just gonna start. And Ajax, we have Morten Sticklenberg, the goalie. I don't think he's that good at the moment. Like his current version is not rated that high, but I don't think Ajax have that many goalies. So we're gonna add Sticklenberg. See if it works. I hope it works. It's not working. I have to edit, okay. I had to press edit. I'm gonna search up Sticklenberg. Here we go, he's rated 74. Can we take a look at him? Yeah. Let's take a look at Sticklenberg here. He's rated 70 apparently. You can train him 38 levels. What happens if I max him? You can actually train him to 85 if you max him. He's 39 years old now. Decent goalkeeping. Defensive goalie, he has low punt and penalty saver, so I guess this is going to be a decent goalie. I don't think he's going to be the starter, but it's probably going to be a decent option for a backup goalie. But we're going to start by inserting him there as a starting goalie until we find someone else. As we go further down the list here, we have Jan Vertonghen. He is going to start, no doubt. We also have Alderfereld. Right off the bat here, we have our center back pair. Jan Vertonghen, currently 34 years old. He played at Tottenham for several years. As you may know, you can max him at 89. Very good defender, very good passing for being a defender. Build-up playstyle. He can do some long passes, man mark, good in the air, sliding tackle, captain. Can also play left back a little bit. Definitely a solid center defender. We're gonna start Vertonghen and we're gonna have Toby Alderweireld as well. So he's 32. If you max him, you get him to 90. So he's still pretty solid. Super solid center back. Is he really playing for Antwerp? Very good defensive skills, obviously. Solid passer for a lofted pass. I mean, these guys can pass the ball, no doubt. Build up, heading, man marking. Pretty solid defensive player. Costs 51k. I guess what we won't be able to see here when we build the team is the cost of the team, which is probably going to be a useful thing to know. What does these players cost? But I think for now we're just going to build the team and see how it's going to look. As we go along here, Andre Oyer. I mean, Daley Blind is probably going to be an option left back. I'm not sure he's going to start at left back once we get closer to the current season, because they have a lot of good left backs. I mean, Tagliafico, pretty good left back. But Daley Blind, definitely a good defensive player. Let's max him, see how he develops. Still only 31, he can max at 90. He can also play center back, obviously. Good passer, good defensive player. Not that quick, that doesn't matter all that much. Build up, playstyle, he can shoot, he can pass, he can cross, he can man mark, interception, block. He can play a lot of different positions. I mean, this is the benefit of Daley Blind. Very versatile. Maybe we should insert him. I know he's not the best left back on this Ajax team, so I think I'm gonna insert him actually, not at left back, but we're gonna put him at defensive midfield. Already in the 2010-2011, like the first season, we are actually starting to fill out the team already. Here we have Gregory Van Der Veer. What happened with him? He was 23. Well, so he would be 35 this year. He's retired apparently. Who else do we got here? Is Wesley Sneijder like a legend card in this game? I mean, Wesley Sneijder is going to fit right into the team. I mean, Miralem Suleimani may be a bench player. Maybe. I mean, we have Eriksen right here. He's going to play for sure. I'm just going to put Eriksen into AMF right here immediately. Obviously, you have two versions of Eriksen in the game. You have the nominating contract version, where you can pick up for like a 5-star nominating contract at the moment. And then you have the base regular card. So the base card, you max that one out, it's also a 90. So I mean, if you decide to build this Ajax team, you're gonna have a pretty good team if you train them up. Christian Eriksen right here. I mean, we all know Christian Eriksen. He can finish a little bit. Pretty good dribbling, excellent passer. And he can do all this kind of stuff. Excellent playmaking midfielder. He can play a lot of positions. He can play every midfield position. And he costs 51k, which is not by any means expensive. Very affordable playmaker in the midfield. I'm just going to save this in case I lose it. Save. We can see immediately here that speed is going to be a problem. But at the moment we're still at the midfield and the defense. Obviously the speed is going to be up top and on the fullbacks. So this team speed is going to improve as we go along here. But Soleimani, I'm not sure about Soleimani. I don't think there's going to be room for him on the bench either. Because you have, in addition to Soleimani, you also have Nicolas Lodeiro right here, who's also pretty good. He's currently playing in the MLS for Seattle. So I'm not sure. Let's get back to these guys later. Luis Suarez, obviously going to start up top. So the big question here is, who's going to be CF? Luis Suarez or Zlatan? And to be honest, I don't know. I'm guessing Suarez might be a little bit better on his current level. Considering Zlatan is old and slow. But I mean, Zlatan is a target guy. Suarez is a goal poacher. So two different playing styles. So who you start should maybe depend on your playstyle. But we're going to start Luis Suarez. Is this the base? This is the base. I guess these are featured cards, and then you have the base card. So Suarez, 34 years old. You can max him at 93, which is crazy. Great offensive awareness, great finishing. He can dribble a little bit, he can head. Passing is so-so. He is not that quick, but he has a lot of good skills. I mean, this guy is a solid forward. Cost 180k. It's not going to be cheap by any means. But we put Suarez there, and then I think we're going to put Zlatan into the bench immediately. I guess this is the featured card that they removed, right? Which is why they don't have the image anymore. They had a Breakout Stars Zlatan Ibrahimovic version, which was removed in Breakout Stars Volume 2. Okay, so here you have Zlatan base card. 40 years old now. You max him and you get him up to 92, so still pretty solid. Target man, super slow, decent passing actually. He can head, dribble a little bit. Pretty good offensive awareness and finishing, but I think actually Suarez is a little bit sharper. But I mean, still, this, if you have Zlatan and Suarez on your theme team, you're pretty good. You're gonna win a lot of games. With Eriksen behind, and then we're gonna find some good wingers. I think this team is gonna be pretty good. Okay, Suarez, Svitanic, Mido, not in the game. I'm not sure about these midfielders. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna insert Soleimani and Lodeiro into the bench, just in case. Because after all, we're still only in the 2010-11 season, and we have 12 more seasons to go through. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to pick up or to choose other players who might be better than Soleimani and Lodeiro, but in case we don't, I'm going to put them into the team. If they are in the game though. Soleimani is in the game. Not the best player, obviously, but you can max him at 83, so I'm gonna add him just in case. And then Nicolás Lodeiro. You can max him at 87, and then, 87 midfielder, pretty good. You get him, if you train him with the playstyle as well, you actually get him to like 89, 90. 32 years old. Pretty good dribbler and extremely good passer. Decent speed. Left-footed, if I'm not mistaken. Classic number 10. Can shoot from range, he can pass. He can play a lot of positions. He can play out wide, he can play second striker like a playmaker, AMF playmaker, and yeah. It costs only 14k, so it's a pretty decent attacking midfielder for this price. I think if we're going to compare like Lodeiro to Soleimani right now, Soleimani is off the team. Lodeiro, I think Lodeiro is going to stick. Okay, so that was that. 2010, 2011. Let's jump ahead to 11-12 season. Gonna take a little while to load. There we go. Okay, so here we have, Jasper Cillessen. I totally forgot he played at Ajax. So I think probably Cillessen is better than Sticklenberg, right? We're gonna put Sticklenberg on the bench. We're gonna insert Cillessen here. Cillessen, you can max him at 89, which I guess is okay. For a goalie, it's pretty good. Good kicking power. With the kicking power, I think kicking power is a little bit underestimated for goalies, because the kicking power is basically gonna give you the ability to do the quick low punt, to kick it out long and kick it out quickly with a little bit of pace on the ball. Decent goalie here. He can do the high punt, the long throw. It doesn't have the low punt. So I guess that kicking power is not that important after all. But it costs 34k. He's currently playing for Valencia. Let's add him as a starting goalie. And then we have Stekelenburg on the bench. There we go. Cillessen right there. Okay, so Vertonghen, Alderweireld, we already have those. Blint, we already have. Is this the guy who plays for Brighton? Or played for Brighton? Yeah. Feldman, I don't think he's gonna be good enough. I think. At right back, they have like Mazraoui. Maybe we should add him to the bench. I'm just gonna see his stats. $77 is pretty decent. You can max him at 87. These defensive skills, pretty good. Good passer. Pretty good speed, actually. Defensive fullback. Plays in the middle and at right back. You know what? I'm gonna add him on the bench. Because like a defensive fullback is gonna be very, very useful, I think. Depending on how you want to play, I think defensive fullbacks are pretty useful. Joe Jam. Yeah, we're gonna get to De Jong eventually here. We're working our way from 2010 up until present day. So we're gonna get to Frankie de Jong. So let's see, Soleimani, Eriksen, Lodeiro, Davy Claussen. I mean, Davy Claussen is definitely a guy we want on our team. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of Soleimani right away. I can see now there's not gonna be any room for him. So Claussen is a whole player. It's gonna be very useful. You can play CMF, AMF. You can max him at 89. You know, there's gonna be so many players. We have Claussen. We're also gonna have Vanderbeck, also a whole player. Pretty much a Claussen clone. We're gonna need to decide if we're gonna go with Claussen or Vanderbeck at some point. But I mean, this guy, decent finishing, kicking power, decent dribbling. I mean, this passing is pretty good actually. Good speed. Full player, he can head, he can shoot, he can pass. And also man mark, which I guess is useful for attacking midfielder. 32k, decent price. I mean, if you're gonna build like a decent theme team, you're gonna actually need, you're gonna have to need like 500,000 GPs, which is crazy. But it is what it is. Okay, so David Claussen in there. What are these strikers, man? Did they really play with these strikers in 2011, 2012? Sigthorsson and Bolukin? Did they win the league this season or what? Let's jump ahead to 12-13. Okay, so we have Silesen, Alderfereld right there. Niklas Moisander, do we need any more center backs? I don't think so. Daley Blind, Feldman. Lasse Schöne, are we going to use him? No. I really doubt we're going to have use for Lasse Schöne in this team. Eriksen, I guess there's a lot of the same players. Ryan Babel? I'm gonna add Ryan Babel at left wing. Not sure we're gonna end up using him at left wing, but I mean, his ceiling is only 85. I'm pretty sure there's better left wingers as we go along here, but we're gonna add him for now. He might be a bench player. So Ryan Babel right here, not the best finishing, but he is obviously good kicking power, decent dribbling, decent speed, not the best passer. Prolific winger, he's a super sub though, so I'm pretty sure this guy could be useful off the bench. I'm gonna put Babel on the bench directly. I mean, they didn't have any good strikers around this time, like 2012, 2013. Okay, next season we're at 13-14. Silesen, we have Alderfereld, Daley Blind, Veltman, Kenny Tete. Did he play for Ajax? So this guy obviously plays for Fulham. He had a great assist yesterday on the first goal for Mitrovic. So you can max him at 86. Not the best ball control. Defending is pretty decent, actually. Decent passing, extremely quick player. Defensive fullback, he can man mark, okay. Can play both sides. And it costs only 10k. I mean, it's a decent squad player. Depending on how we build the squad there, I think Tete could be useful. Because he can play both right and left back. But I mean, Veltman also looked pretty good as a backup right there, so we need to find out what we're gonna do here. I guess Masraoui is probably gonna push Tete off the team eventually, but we're gonna put him on there. Lobotka actually played there. And Riedewald. I don't think there's any room because we know Frankie is gonna be... I'm gonna put Frankie here immediately. Frankie de Jong is gonna be the other DMF. You can max Frankie at 94, so it's a pretty good card. You know what Frankie can do. Good dribbler, good passer, decent defensive player, decent speed. Orchestrator, he can double touch, he can dribble, he can pass, he can do a lot of stuff. 280k. Frankie there. I think the midfield is looking pretty good. Like, the core of this team is pretty solid. I guess Onana is going to be the starting goalie here eventually. Let's see. Did Bojan play for these guys? I guess he did. I was looking at the Bojan Krsic card in eFootball, and he doesn't have it doesn't have one single player skill, like no player skill, and it doesn't have any playing style either. It's like a second striker with a 70 overall. Really weird. We move ahead, 14-15 season. We still have Silesen, and here we see Andre Onana is entering the picture. I guess we're gonna go, you know, Sticklenberg is... It was good back in the day, but the current version of Sticklenberg, old and low rated, I don't think he's gonna fit into the team. We're gonna go with... I think Onana is gonna be the starting goalie. And then we're gonna have Silesen on the bench. If Onana is in the game. Yeah. We can max Onana at 92, so... This is gonna be the starting goalie, I think. Offensive goalie, low punt, long throw. It costs 110k. And then we're gonna have Silesen on the bench. There we go. Take a look at the defenders we have here. I guess this is like the post Alderweireld Vertonghen age. We don't have any impressive defenders around this, like 14-15. Bailey Blint was still playing there. Veltman. Here we have Donny Vanderbeck. I think we need to find room for him. I think we actually do. I mean, the question is gonna be if you really need Vanderbeck and Claussen. They're super similar players. We can max Vanderbeck at 90. He's pretty much a clone of Davy Claussen. Dribbling, good passing, good speed. It's a whole player. He can shoot from range, he can pass. Fighting spirit, very useful. Can play CMF, AMF. So it's basically the same. 43k. I'm gonna put him in the squad just to have him here, but I mean, this guy and this guy could be identical twins. Pretty much same player. El Ghazi. Milik. I had forgotten Milik played for Ajax. We're gonna have a kind of like a luxury problem here. Because we need to find room for Milik. I mean, it really depends how we would like to shuffle the team here, because one thing we could do, we could put Daily Blind over here and pull Eriksen down here and then start the whole player. Start either Vanderbeck or Claussen in this role here. And then we have room for Milik on the bench. Then we're gonna have Zlatan, Suarez and Milik as the strikers. And then there's no room for Haller. So I mean, at least you're gonna have options depending on how you want to build the team. But I mean, Tagliafico, that basically means Tagliafico is gonna be on the bench. Okay, so let's shuffle around. Let's do it. Daily Blind, left back, and then we're gonna go Frankie, and then we're gonna have Eriksen here, I guess. So never mind, it says DMF. It's not gonna be DMF. We're gonna change it to CMF. We're gonna have Eriksen, De Jong, and then I think we're gonna start Claussen or Vanderbeck. Let's start Vanderbeck. And then we're gonna have Milik on the bench. Arcadius. So Milik maxes at 90. Great target man. I mean, excellent target man player. His passing is a little bit lackluster though. I mean, target man, he can head, he can shoot. $47K. Decent option right there. Milik, Zlatan, and Suarez. I guess Suarez could, in theory, play on the wing. You could actually use Luis Suarez as either left wing or right wing, if you really want to have a target guy in the middle, if you want to start. Because Sebastian Haller is also a target man. You can have like you can have Zlatan or Milik or Haller as the target guy in the middle, and then you have your goal poachers out wide instead of pure wingers. So we could actually go with Zlatan in the middle and then Suarez out here, so we can finish right foot. And then we have Anthony or someone on the right side there. And then David Neres is gonna, yeah. I mean, we're gonna have some luxury problems eventually here as we get closer to the current season. Let's skip ahead. 15-16. Silesen, Onana, Johnny Heitinga? No. Okay, Feltman, Tete, Gudelj. I don't think we have room for him. Amin Younes. Yaya Sanogo. Okay, let's skip ahead there. I think the team is pretty much set. We just need to find wingers. We also have Davinson Sanchez. And De Ligt. I had forgot about De Ligt. We need to shuffle. Okay, so Tete is completely off the team. We're gonna do Feldman at right back. And then Vertonghen is actually gonna sit on the bench. So this is actually starting to look like an awesome team. If you have enough GPs to actually assemble this team, you can actually go to Division 1 with this team, I'm pretty sure. Okay, there we have De Ligt. I mean, Davinson Sanchez is not gonna have any room. We're not gonna have room for him. And his profile in the game is not that good either, so compared to these other guys. With no loss. Okay, Frankie, Vanderbeck, Claussen, Ziyech. I mean, Ziyech definitely better than Lodeiro, even though the Lodeiro was looking pretty good. We need to make room for Ziyech. Ziyech maxes at 90. We're also gonna have, we need to find room for Tadic. I mean, so this just shows you like how insane this Ajax team has been like recent years. So many quality players have come through here. I mean, it gives you a lot of options when you build the team, like which formation you want to play. You could do a lot of different variations here. Because you could do, if you have Frankie, and I mean, Gravenberg, Kudus, I mean, there are so many players. Depending on how you want to build this. If you don't want a whole player, you can go Eriksen there or Ziyech, and you can go Gravenberg and De Jong. I think we need to get rid of one of these whole players. David Claussen, we're gonna get rid of Claussen to make room for some other guys here eventually, and then Vanderbeck is gonna stay. But okay, we insert Ziyech. Then we have David Neres. You know, David Neres, pretty good winger. I'm gonna put him into the team, but he's gonna be a bench player. Or not a bench player, he's gonna lose his place to Anthony, I think. I think Anthony is gonna start. But David Neres, he maxes at 90. Pretty good player. He can pass, he can finish, he can dribble, he has good speed. Prolific winger. He used to be a roaming flank in PES actually, so they changed his style. He can shoot from range, he can through pass, he can cross the ball. He can play either side, he can also play striker actually. 43k. Players like Justin Kluivert, Traoré, and Amin El Ghazi, Kasper Dolberg, we're not going to find room for them. Okay, we have Onana, we have De Ligt, Tagliafico. Is there any room for Tagliafico on this squad here? I don't think so. I was thinking, we need to have Christian Eriksen on this team, but if you have Hakim Ziyech, I don't think you need Eriksen. I think this setup, like it is right here, is a little bit too front heavy. We need someone who's actually defensive. I'm thinking you could either start Daily Blind at DMF or you start Gravenberg. I think this position right here. I don't think there's any room for Christian Eriksen, to be honest. At least not in this position right here, but I mean Christian Eriksen we can use Eriksen right there instead of David Claussen, so we don't need two whole players. We only have one. Vanderbeck. And then we have Eriksen there on the bench alongside Ziyech. We need some more defensive players on the bench here. So I think, you know what we're going to do? We're going to start Gravenberg over here. I'm just going to insert Gravenberg into the team immediately here. Although we haven't reached the season yet for him. Gravenberg, De Jong. We're going to have... Don't need Milik and Zlatan, I think. Two similar players. We don't need like two target men on the bench. We're going to keep Zlatan. We're going to get rid of Milik. We're going to start Tagliafico left back, and Daily Blind is going to be bench player. I'm going to start Tagliafico left back because this guy is pretty good. Wait a minute, I can change. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Tagliafico. Let's take a look at him. He maxes at 91. This is a pretty good left back. Good kicking power, good ball control. His defense is actually pretty good for being like an attacking fullback. This guy's a fullback finisher. So here we have a fullback finisher who is actually pretty good defensively, which is very rare. Excellent stamina, excellent speed, good passing. I mean, you don't see this kind of defense on offensive fullbacks anymore. So Tagliafico, prime left back, no doubt. And take a look at all these skills. And he can also play center midfield and left midfield DMF. Very versatile player. Costs 76k. I mean, this guy needs to start on this team. So Tagliafico there, De Ligt, Alderweireld, and the right back, we should probably do something, right? I think we're gonna go with Nasraoui. Masraoui. I think so. We maxes at 88. Good ball control, decent defense actually. Good passer, good speed, good stamina, offensive fullback. Can play in the midfield as well, pretty versatile player also. Of course he plays for Bayern right now. So 20k. He's gonna start right back. I think this team is pretty much set at the back here. Then you, of course, as I said, you can make the argument if you want to start a whole player or kind of like a creative guy over here. I think Hakim Ziyech is going to be pretty good. Dusan Tadic can be pretty good in that position, but we're going to get to those players eventually here. Here we have Vanderbeck, De Jong, Ziyech, Dennis Johnson, Noah Lang played for Ajax. Huntelaar. I mean, if you really want a Ajax theme team, you should at some... If Huntelaar is still in the game, I don't think so. Oh, he's retired. Okay. 18-19. Yo, Akmal, how are you, bro? We have Onana, De Ligt, okay, Tagliafico. I mean, we need to make room for Martinez. Do we have room for Martinez? I don't think so. Lisandro Martinez is going to be off the team. I mean, you have a lot of options when you build Ajax theme team. You could pretty much start 2 different starting 11s. Yo, Richie Gaming, how are you, bro? Welcome to the stream, bro. So I think, you know, if we were to add Dusan Tadic into this, I'm not sure if we have room for Dusan Tadic. Because we already have these playmakers over here. We have Ziyech, we have Eriksen. And then the good thing about Babel is a super sub. But I guess you could start Tadic over here. Let's put Tadic into the team right here. So apparently there are 2 versions of Tadic. This is probably a featured player, and this is the regular base card. We can max him at 91. And this guy is pretty good, you know. He can finish, he can dribble, he can pass, he can do everything. Decent speed. Creative playmaker with a lot of nice skills. He can play anywhere up top and in the midfield. So bam, into the team you go. Yo, Akmal. Now I started the stream, I think, around like 50 minutes ago. We're only doing... I want to do something different today, instead of only playing like I usually do. I think I play a little bit too much. Because I start getting annoyed by the scripting and stuff like that. But I think the fun part right now is actually to build the teams. The gameplay is gonna be, you know, so-so. But building the teams is actually pretty fun. Quincy Promise, yeah, I mean, Quincy Promise, I don't think there's room. Really depends how you feel about Ryan Babel. Also Bergwijn, I mean, it really depends what you feel about Ryan Babel, bro. But I mean, Babel... Super sub, that's the only reason I have Babel on the bench. He's a super sub. But I guess you're right. Quincy Promise probably better, right? Quincy Promise is actually not in the game. You see, this is one of these weird cards with 1 of 1, no image. So no Quincy Promise in the game, bro. But Bergwijn definitely a good option, no doubt. Can max him at 89. So he is better than Babel, who was max 85. We can pass, he can dribble. Prolific winger. And this is a decent guy. I mean, there's no doubt Bergwijn is higher rated than Babel. But if you want a super sub, you need to consider using Babel. Okay. Ziyech, we have Gravenberg. Noah Lang, we don't have any room for him. Asina Traoré, yeah, let's skip ahead to next season. 1920. Ronaldo is back, what do you mean? Is he back where? Did he go to Galatasaray or not? Okay, Onana, Lisandro. Do we have room for Lisandro here? I don't think so. We also have Yuri and Timber. I mean, you really have a lot of options here if you want to build the defense on this team. We're not gonna have room for Lisandro, actually. Then you also have Serginho Dest, man. I actually think Dest might have a greater upside than Masraoui. Like, maybe. I need to take a look at him. So you can max Dest at a 90. And Masraoui had... $88. So Dest actually a better option at right back than Masraoui. Good passing, good speed, excellent speed actually. Offensive fullback, double touch, he can do a lot of stuff. He can also play both sides. Serginho Dest, new right back. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could actually build two really good squads using Ajax past and present players. I have put like so many good players off the squad right here. You have a lot of options. Let's see, Lasse Schöne, no room for him either. Tadic, here is promise. He is... he's playing for a Russian club. Maybe that's why he's not in the game. I think eFootball just removed every Russian clubs from the game. Babel, Neres, Puntalar, yeah, let's skip ahead. I think we're gonna go with Anthony instead of David Neres, but I just want to take a look at Anthony's profile first. Urian Timber, I mean, you could perfectly find room for Timber here. Kleiber. Mohamed Kudus, pretty good player also, but no room. No room, I think. We might have too many like creative playmakers here. We have Tadic, I mean for this position right here. Because we have Tadic, you can play there, Vanderbeck, we have Ziyech and Eriksen, Bergwijn. I'm not sure if Bergwijn actually is. I think what we're gonna do, we're probably gonna put Neres on the bench here instead of Bergwijn, and then Anthony is gonna start here. Here we have Anthony, and I mean, Sebastian Haller, we don't have any room for him either, but he could be a pretty good player here. But I mean, Bergwijn, bye-bye. We're gonna go Anthony. Not even gonna take a look at his profile, because he is 81 already, better than Neres, so... Neres on the bench. I mean, this is starting to look pretty good. Like, the entire bench is over 80. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could reach Division 1 with this team if you max them out. Or even train them a little bit. This is a winner team, no doubt. And if you, in addition to that, actually get some featured versions, if you have like featured Suarez, featured De Jong, featured De Ligt, I mean, this team is gonna play some great football for you. Yes, Suarez played at Ajax before he went to Liverpool. Let's take a look at some goals while we're at it. I mean, we're not playing any games today, so a little bit of gameplay. This was, I mean, before he started biting people, I think. Banger. I'm not sure how this is like a top 10 goal. Maybe it was an important goal. But I mean, like, technically, it's not like a big goal. It's a difficult angle and everything, but... Here we have some script defending. Seems like he loved to score against Utrecht. Wow, man. This is long hair Suarez. That is a banger, bro. Look at that. The way the best players receive the ball in one touch, they receive the ball and then go forward at the same time. Just swoop, 2 touches, and he gets like 5 meters. Simple finish. No way. Now he's just playing around. I think I'm actually gonna use the GP rewards on Thursday to build this Ajax team. No way, bro. This guy... Do you think he meant it? Was it like a botched cross? Bam. Have you guys seen that legendary Zlatan goal for Ajax? The Zlatan Ajax dribble goal? This is back in 2004. This is funny. And they showed Rafael van der Vaart on the bench there. Because Zlatan and Rafael van der Vaart had a beef. Like a serious beef. And Van der Vaart was on the bench there, not on the bench, but on the at the stands, and just I don't care. It's like almost goal of the century and no reaction. Yeah, Zlatan versus England also. I mean, when these guys retire, what are we gonna do? When Zlatan, Ronaldo, Messi, when all these guys actually retire, what is gonna be left of football? We've had like 20 years of this madness with these three guys. Okay, let's finish building the team. I think we're pretty close to finishing this team now. We are now in the 21-22 season. We have Onana. Sticklenberg is apparently back. Timber, Martinez, no room. Suarez, I mean, pretty good defender, no room for him. Tagliafico, Blind, Masraoui, Gravenberg, Kudos, Strootman. Has Strootman played for Ajax? I don't think there's any room. I mean, I think we pretty much have filled out the entire team. Strootman is a PSV guy, actually. He played for Sparta, Utrecht, and PSV. Okay, Claussen, Steven Berghuis. I mean, Berghuis is a good option at right wing if you want that kind of player. I mean, Sebastian Haller as well. I mean, you could actually, as I said 3 times already, you could actually build 2 different squads equally good with only Ajax players. Quarter. So this is the current season team, actually. Owen Wijndal, nah. Berghuis, Bergwijn, Tadic, Anthony. I think there's a lot of like up and coming players on the current Ajax team. But I don't think any of these guys can actually outplay these legends we have found there. So let's save this. Save. So we have a pretty good and balanced team. 2 good goalies, Onana, Silesen. And at the back, we're gonna have Tagliafico, De Ligt, Alderweireld, and Dest, with Vertonghen and Blind on the bench. So basically, we're gonna have, Tagliafico left back. Daley Blind can also play left back, so there's your backup right there for left back. I think Vertonghen also can play left back. So with Vertonghen, he can play there and there as a backup. Backup at right back is gonna be De Ligt, actually. De Ligt can play right back. You can push De Ligt out here if Dest cannot play, and you insert one of these guys in the defense. Then at these central midfield positions, you have Gravenberg as the anchor man. You can also start Daley Blind there as the defensive midfielder. You can also start Frankie de Jong there. And then if you, for some reason, start de Jong there, you can go with Christian Eriksen here. So de Jong is an orchestrator in playstyle. Christian Eriksen is also an orchestrator, so you can use him there. He will roam around vertically. Horizontally, and be like a playmaker. And then we have the whole player, Vanderbeck, here to make those runs into the box. You can also start, of course, Hakim Ziyech. You can start Eriksen there also. You can also start Frankie de Jong there if you want that. And you can also start Dusan Tadic there. And then in the middle, we've chosen to go with Luis Suarez. You can also start Zlatan. You can do Zlatan here, and you can also start Luis Suarez at wing position. So you have a lot of flexibility here. And then Antony is going to start on the right side. I think he also might be able to play left wing. So Antony can max at 91. Prolific winger. He can only play right side. Okay. So Antony is locked into the right side there. But I mean, Antony gives you something that you don't have with these other guys. He has speed and dribbling ability. He's very direct. While here, with Dusan Tadic, he's more like a playmaking kind of player. So the goal scorers are basically going to be, you know, the center forward, Luis Suarez or Zlatan if you start him. And Antony is going to make some runs in behind. And also you're going to have Vanderbeck making runs into the box. And then David Neres is going to be a very flexible bench player. He can play anywhere up top here and be the same type of player as Antony. I think this team is a pretty good Ajax team, to be honest. And it's going to be interesting to try it out once I get enough GPs to try to acquire a lot of these guys. Because I already have Luis Suarez. I think I have Gravenberg. I might have sold him actually to get a trainer. Then Frankie de Jong. I have Dest also on my Barcelona team. I have Vertonghen. I have Eriksen. And I have Zlatan. So I have like half of the team. And a lot of these expensive guys I already have. So I can fill out the rest of the squad with these other guys. What do you guys think about this Ajax team? Pretty good team. The most difficult squad to build when you start playing eFootball is PSG. You mean in terms of because they are so expensive? Richie? Yo, Mario, how are you, bro? You mean De La Cruz, the River Plate guy? I mean, one thing I like about this squad right here, you have a lot of flexibility in terms of who plays where. A lot of these players can play multiple positions, which is going to help a lot when you have bad form. I think this, and also, I mean, these guys were like the, how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 plus. So it's a squad of 18 players, and I'm pretty sure I could have had like a 40-man squad with only good players. I mean, if you're gonna swap someone out, probably Vanderbeck. I mean, Vanderbeck is the least spectacular of all these players, I think. But he is really good at what he does. He's really good at that whole player position. He's gonna make runs into the box. And I think if you're playing like a possession or like a quick counter, or maybe even like out wide, with this team, you're gonna win some games. This team is so good. I was thinking about the way we could play with this team. I mean, Tagliafico, you have a left back who is actually a super good two-way left back. Okay, so let's save this. Edit, save. Looking pretty good, this team. You know, I've used De La Cruz a lot in PES, so I really like his player profile. He's also a whole player, right? He can play a lot of positions. He's a whole player. He has the double touch. He can shoot. He can finish. He can pass. He can dribble. But definitely a very good player. I mean, we might be able to do like a River Plate theme team. But I mean, this is going to conclude the Ajax part of the stream. We have built the Ajax team. So maybe we can do another team. I have like 15 more minutes before I have to go do something. So in the poll, you guys, I've asked which team we should build next. And there were four options. AC Milan, Inter, Lazio, and Atalanta. So there were 54% vote on AC Milan and then 31% on Inter. So we're going to do AC Milan. We're going to do a new... Let's see. Let's close all these. I'm going to do like a quick break to get something to drink and some fruit. And then we're going to... Excuse me. And then we're going to build the AC Milan team, okay? So over on PES Master, if you don't know, you can actually use the squad builder feature, which you find here, like a squad builder. And if you have an account on PES Master, which is free, the account is free. How do I close this? Can't close it? Okay. What I was saying, yeah, I was saying if you have an account, you can actually save your squads in your account. If you do some research and build a team over here, and then you can do this before you actually build it in eFootball, because the navigation inside eFootball is a little bit clunky, right? It's super difficult to actually search for players. Sure, it's much simpler to actually do the research outside of the game, and then you just do the finishing touches inside eFootball, just getting the actual players. So you can plan and everything out here. So here I have, I'm logged into my account, so I have saved this Ajax theme team. So we're going to do a new one. It'll be AC Milan. I mean, one thing I did not think about with Ajax is legend players. I'm not sure if there are any legend players who played for Ajax that you can actually use for your team. Maybe Rafael van der Veer. If you got that card in this week's Real Madrid promotion, you could do Rafael van der Veer here as the AMF. What kind of formation should AC Milan play? Like a classic AC Milan 4-4-2, right? Because with AC Milan, you're gonna have a lot of legend players available. You could do like, you could have Maldini, you could have like, who else? Pirlo, Kaká, Inzaghi. But we're gonna try to build it without legends, maybe. Because it's difficult to get the legends. I don't think we can. There's no easy way of actually getting the legends. But the legends are pretty much gonna be a bonus if you actually have them. I'm thinking a 4-4-2 with Ajax. No, with Ajax, with Milan. What formation does... I mean, the 4-4-2 is basically like the typical formation back in like the 2000s, right? Up until 2010, you start seeing these single striker formations. Like the 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. You have a 3-4-3, 5-2-3. You don't see that many like two striker formations anymore. Because of the way the game has developed. Should we go with the 4-2-3-1 again? Yes, we can try. We can try. Okay. AC Milan squad 2010. So the same way we did with Ajax, we're gonna start by going back in time. We're gonna start with the 2010 season and work our way forward up until present day. And the reason for that is, as I also said earlier in the stream before anyone was watching, is if you start with current day team, you're probably just gonna fill the entire team with current players. When you go back in time, you're not gonna find room for like historic players. So I think it's better to like go start back in time and choose like only the best players from the earlier seasons, and then fill out with current players as you go along. So yeah, I'm gonna get something to... Ooh, Thiago Silva. Okay, I'm gonna get something to drink. I'll be back in 2 minutes, okay? I'm back. Literally 2 seconds. Yeah, Pioli is playing a 4-2-3-1, right? I mean, you can go different ways with AC Milan. You could, depending on which players you have. I think a 4-2-3-1 is gonna work, 4-3-3 can work, a 4-4-2 can work if you have those like legendary players. If you want to play that way, you can do a 4-2-2-2. There are several options. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna start by adding Thiago Silva, I think. Is Alessandro Nesta available as a legend? I need to check that. Thiago Silva. I guess this is a featured version and this is the base. So Thiago's still pretty good, of course, even though he's aged 37. You can max him at 92. Look at these defensive skills. This guy is pretty awesome. Destroyer playing style. He can pretty much do everything. Head, pass, and defend. Can also be captain. Can play CB and a little bit of DMF. I don't think we're going to use him at DMF, but nice to know he can play it. 120k. So Thiago Silva in there. I'm just gonna check real quick if Alessandro Nesta is. I think he might be available actually. Yeah. So you could actually at some point get Alessandro Nesta legend card. So you could actually have center backs. You could have Maldini and Nesta if you have those two. Okay, let's see. We're gonna continue here. We have Socrates. Is he gonna play, you think? Should I add him? Maybe on the bench? I'm gonna put Socrates on the bench. He's not in the game. Maybe the last name, Papastopoulos. Here he is. You can max him at 87. Did he play? Like, was he like a regular? Or was he just playing there like... Genoa, AC Milan. Let's take a look here. Okay, so he barely played. He played like 5 games. So we're not gonna add him. Mario Yepes, Didac Villa, Jankulovski, Zambrotta, Andrea Pirlo. I mean, if you have the Pirlo legend card, just insert him right here. But we're gonna base this team on regular players, no legends. Clarence Seedorf. Kevin Prince Boateng actually played. How many games did he play? Ronaldinho Gaucho, man. Ronaldinho here. Imagine having Filippo, no, maybe Zlatan, and then you have Filippo Inzaghi off the bench, super sub. And then you have Ronaldinho, you have Pirlo, you have Maldini, Nesta. And who else? Antonio Cassano, Alexander Pato. Is Pato in the game? I think Pato actually is in the game. He's playing for Orlando. I was gonna check Kevin Prince Boateng, how many games he played. He actually played a decent amount of games. So I think we're gonna find room for Kevin Prince if he is in the game. Here he is, KP. But is he? I don't think he is. It's one of these 1-of-1 level cards. I think what's happened here is he was in the game and for some reason they removed it. So it's basically just an empty profile still in the database here. But whenever I've searched up players inside eFootball who have this kind of like 1-of-1 level on PESmaster, you can't find them. So we cannot use Kevin Prince Boateng, unfortunately. That would be amazing. Joe, Wise Old Cat, how are you, bro? Welcome to the stream. Richie, we can do the PSG team in the next stream because after this I have to finish something and then I have to go to a barbecue. But definitely we can do PSG. But I mean, Ronaldinho Gaucho could play here. Should we keep it without legends? Because I mean, if you have any legends who can actually play on the team, that's a bonus, I think. I think the point of this squad building is actually building the squads with players you actually can acquire using GPs. But I mean, with a team like AC Milan, you're going to have a lot of legend players. Simone Verdi actually played here. Robinho, Cassano, Zlatan. Okay, let's put Zlatan up top here. Ibra. Bam. Zlatan is going to feature for a lot of teams. And then Pato. Hey, Pippo. Poriello. Puntelar. Okay, let's search up Pato. The thing about Pato actually had a featured card earlier this year. He had like a featured player of the month for April from the MLS. And that was rated 85. Pretty good card, actually. I considered getting it, but he was out of form at the moment. So let's take a look at this base card we can get here. Alexandre Pato with Maxim. We max him at 85, so it's a decent card. I'm not sure if he's gonna make the team though, but pretty good player. He can finish, he can dribble. His passing is not going to be that good. Decent speed. He can dribble here, he can finish. He can play in the middle and to the left. Let's put him on the bench. It's going to be like a decent bench player. I mean, one thing we could do like one team with base cards, and then we could do like one version of the team with the legends in addition to that. But we're going to start by building the team without legends. You know, AC Milan had like a stretch of seasons, like not that long ago, where they really struggled. They didn't have that many good players. Abbiati and Amelia, my god. Philippe Mesh. Donini. Mattia De Giglio. Yeah, he was playing a lot for AC Milan, actually. Right back. You can max him at 87. Decent player, decent defense, actually. Good passer, good speed. Offensive fullback, not that many skills, so I mean it's a decent player, but nothing more. Let's see if he survives. Brian Cristante played there. But only like 3 games, so I think I'm not gonna use him. Sole Montari. Sole Montari is playing for Hearts of Oak at the moment. Robinho, Stefan El Shaarawy actually was a AC Milan product, right? Yeah, he played a lot of games for AC Milan. He is gonna play... For now, we're gonna have him at left wing. I'm not sure if he's gonna survive. We have Rafael Leao and players like that who probably is gonna play. It's gonna start there instead, but for now he's gonna play there. So 88 overall, if you max him. Decent finishing and kicking power, good dribbler, he has decent passing, good speed. He's a super sub, so you know what? I think I'm gonna put him on the bench immediately, because he's a super sub. There's no reason starting a super sub. Stefan El Sharawi over there. Then we have Maxi Lopez. How many games did he play? He was there on loan for like a couple of games. Okay. We're not gonna use him. So let's go to 12-13. You see like a real contrast between already between the Ajax team and this team. You see how well Ajax is run. They have had like very good players almost each season. While AC Milan, you can see here, we are in the middle of that period where they really struggled. Gabriel, who is this? Gabriel. Christian Zapata. Asherbi. Oops. Wait. He didn't play much. He played for Sassuolo actually, and Lazio, okay. Ricardo Bonera, Didac Villa, Nini. It's not much to take from here. Rodney Strasser, is this the guy who Zlatan kicked in the face? Mario Balotelli, man. I have Mario Balotelli in my team. Yeah, he played 1 season and something. 1 season and a half. Bam. So Balotelli right now, he's a super sub actually. We can max him at 85. Good finishing, kicking power, decent dribbling, passing not so good, decent speed, not anything like super good, but he's a super sub. So he is someone you can throw on late in the game and he might give you something. Andrea Petagna played here. He barely played there, so let's skip ahead. 13-14. I hope there are some good players soon, because it's looking very, very it's not looking so good this far. Adil Rami, is he playing still? Troyes? I mean, 83 maxed out, nah. Adel Tarabt play there. Andrea Poli. I mean, Adel Tarabt might be like a fun player to have. He played there on loan. I don't know. $14.15. Donnarumma, man! Donnarumma! Here we have the goalie. Bam! And then I'm thinking maybe Diego Lopez is the backup goalie. At least for now. And we might find someone else. I mean, this is a good backup goalie. 87, if you max him. And it's age 40 though, but looks like a pretty decent backup goalie. But I mean, Donnarumma is gonna be the starting goalie here, no doubt. Locatelli, did he play there? Like how many games? Bonaventura. Now we're starting to get into like the years where they actually had some players who are still playing. Manuel Locatelli played there 3 seasons. He also was in their youth setup, so he is gonna be one of the defensive midfielders here. I guess this is the featured version and this is the default one, the base. So Locatelli, you max him, you get a 92 rated player. With decent ball control, very good defensively, very good passer, very good, not very good, but decent speed, good stamina. Orchestrator, can pass and he can intercept and slide tackle, so he's kind of like a defensive playmaker. Almost kind of like a Pirlo kind of type, but not as good at the passing, so... Okay, Bonaventura, he's more like a hole player, I think. And I don't think he's gonna start. But we might put... I'm gonna put Bonaventura on the bench. So here you have a player who maxes at 88. Good kicking power. Decent dribbling. His defense is not going to be anything you think about. A good passer, decent speed. He is a hole player, so he's going to score some goals for you. He has double touch, he can shoot from range. And he has one touch pass and through pass, which is pretty useful. You can do those quick combinations. We might even start here. I need to see which other players we find. Marco van Ginkel? Hey, they're on loan from Chelsea, okay. Ricardo Sabonara is a decent player. If we don't find anyone else, he can sit on a bench. But he barely played there, like 8 games. Sharawi, Menes. Should we have Menes on the bench maybe? Suso. Can have Suso right midfield. Suso, he maxes at 89, which is pretty decent, I would say. Good dribbler, good kicking power, decent passer, decent speed. This is a guy you just use, you cut inside and you finish or pass. I mean, that is the Suso playbook. He starts on the right, he cuts inside. It's basically like Arjen Robben, just not as good. You can dribble with the double touch, you shoot from range, or you pass it. You can play a lot of positions, so very versatile. I think this guy is we're gonna find room for him in the squad. It's a very good offensive player. But we're gonna start by putting him out there on the wing. And then Mattia Destro might actually be... I would actually consider having Mattia Destro here. I'm not sure, did he actually play any games? This guy was pretty good at the Roma. But he played on loan at Milan, so we're not gonna use him for this team. 15-16. Let's see if they get any more decent players here. I guess it was around here they actually started to build. Romagnoli. I guess Romagnoli went to Lazio, right? This summer? So he's not here anymore, but he's gonna be good enough for this team. I am pretty sure he's gonna play for this team. 90 overall if you max him. Very good defensive player. Extra frontman. He has a lot of good defensive skills. So he can play basically only in the mid center defense, but he can also play left back. I mean, Calabria might be... Should Calabria start, you think? I mean, he looks better than De Sciglio, at least. So let's do, you know what? Let's do Calabria here and De Sciglio on the bench. Yeah, Ronaldinho can definitely play here, but he's a legend. We're not going to use the legends, at least not for now. Kuka played there. Kuka played there for 2 seasons. He actually played. I mean, Kuka is a guy you could actually use, I guess. Max is at 87. Decent all-around player, but nothing spectacular, but he's gonna do a good job. I know he's not like a player you actually would consider getting for your dream team. But he's a decent player. I guess Tonali is gonna be here. It's gonna be, eventually, once we get to the current season, it's gonna be Tonali there and Locatelli there. Like the 2 DMFs, Tonali and Locatelli. Luis Adriano. Do you guys remember this guy? I guess, you know, we have Zlatan, we have Pato and Balotelli. I mean, those guys are gonna be good enough as strikers, I think. (16, 17). We need a left back, we need some midfielders. The rest of the team is looking pretty good. Donnarumma, Lopez, Romagnoli. De Siglio, Calabria, Locatelli, Bonaventura, Bertolacci. Bertolacci looks like a decent player, actually. Orchestrator, but I don't think he's gonna be. He's not gonna be outplaying like Locatelli or Tonali, so. But it definitely is an option. Jose Sosa as well. Mario Pasalic, did he actually play? Yo, George, how are you, bro? Did I see Lucas Ocampos here? Whenever I see Lucas Ocampos, my eyes just light up. Okay, Mario Pasalic was playing here on loan. I guess Pasalic is someone you actually could put into this team if you want like a whole player, but I mean, you have Bonaventura already, so you have the whole player right here. But just for the sake of it, we're gonna do Pasalic here. Lucas Ocampos, we need to see if he actually played any games, or can't remember he actually played for Milan. Okay, so he was there briefly on loan. Deulofeu. I mean, we have El Shaarawy as the super sub already on the bench. I don't think we need Deulofeu and El Shaarawy. They're too similar. We're gonna stick with El Shaarawy. Let's see if we actually can get some good defenders here. This team is looking very underwhelming compared to the Ajax team. Ah, Bonucci played there for one season, right? And then we have Ricardo Rodriguez as well, so we're starting to get some players here. I guess Theo Hernandez is going to be the left back eventually, but let's start by doing Ricardo Rodriguez, left back. And then Bonucci. I guess we can start Bonucci instead of Romagnoli, and then, yeah. Yeah, I know Kaká. Kaká, Inzaghi, you have a bunch of legends who actually can fit into this team. Musacchio. Lucas Biglia? Played there for 3 years. If you max Biglia, you get like 87. He's a decent option. Decent ball handling. I mean, his defense is the main reason you have this guy, right? Defense and passing. So he's actually looking pretty good there. Orchestrator. A lot of good skills. I think Biglia always was like a really underrated player. Like an extremely good team player. But he never got any praise. So I guess you could end up, you can have Biglia, you can have Locatelli, and then you have Sandro Tonali, and then you have your 3 DMF players who are going to be pretty good. Kessié, and okay, now we're starting to talk. Kessié, we have Jalanolu. I guess we can say goodbye to Mario Pasalic. We do Jalanolu there, AMF, and then we're going to do Pasalic instead of Bonaventura. I know Bonaventura was more like a Milan player than Pasalic, but I like Pasalic more. Although he was there only on loan. And then Kessié. Not sure where we're gonna fit Kessié. Okay, I guess we need to dump Pasalic. I guess we're gonna have, you know what, we're gonna have Tonali, Locatelli here, Kessié on the bench. Biglia is not gonna we're not gonna have room for Biglia. But Biglia is a pretty good option here if you don't have. AC Milan guys, they don't like Giananolo because he left for Inter. Fabio Borini, Suso, Cutrone, and Andres Silva. I think Andres Silva actually is pretty good in the game. But almost no one is using him because he's playing in Germany. So I'm gonna ditch Alexandre Pato and insert Andres Silva instead. If you max Silva, you have a 91 rated striker. Pretty good finishing, decent ball control, can finish on the head as well, decent speed. I mean, this guy is a pretty good striker who no one is using and no one is talking about. He costs 76k, Fox in the box. Pretty good striker here. And 18, 19, let's skip ahead here. I think we're gonna get Rafael Leao here, I guess. We also have Pepe Reina, maybe, as the backup goalie. Did he actually play games? He played very little, so I'm not gonna use Pepe Reina. Let's see, Ricardo Rodriguez, Salt, Caldara, Calabria, Bakayoko. I mean, Bakayoko could very well play DMF here, but he's not better than Locatelli, Kessié, or Tonali. So I'm not gonna put him into the team, but he could be on your squad if you're building this team. Lucas Paquetá could also play. I mean, you could use Lucas Paquetá here instead of Jalanolu. He played one season, 37 games. Let's take a look at his profile. I guess this is his default card, 82. You max him at 91. Very good dribbler, he can finish, and he can pass, decent speed. Creative playmaker. He can through pass. I mean, this is a decent player. You can't shoot from range with him, which might be a little bit of a drawback. Excuse me. But this guy is a solid... Excuse me. Okay, but this guy is a pretty solid AMF. If you don't want to use Jalanolo, you can use Lucas Paquetá here. But personally, I prefer Jalanolo there because he can shoot from range, and he is overall a little bit better than Paquetá. Higuain played for this team. How is Piatek here? $80? You can max Piatek at 89. This is pretty good finishing. 84. Fox in the box, he is also a super sub. So, unfortunately, Mario Balotelli did not make the team. I mean, you have Piatek off the bench as a super sub? That is a pretty underrated player. I'm just gonna see how many games he actually played. Yeah, he played one season there, so... When you look at this bench, I mean, you have Zlatan up top, and then you have Andre Silva and Piatek here, and then if you have legendary Inzaghi as well, you're gonna have enough good strikers. You could also, I guess you could go with Samu Castillejo out here on the right wing if you don't have Suso. Let's take a look at 1920 season. Simon Chiar can play at CB if you don't want Romagnoli. And I guess we're gonna go with Theo Hernandez here instead of Ricardo Rodriguez. So Theo Hernandez you can max at 92, so Ricardo Rodriguez is not even close to that, so this is your guy at left back. Decent defensively, I mean his speed is just off the charts. Super quick. His passing is gonna be so-so, so you might want to spend some progression points on his passing if you plan on actually doing some crossing with him. Fullback finisher, he can shoot from range. Pinpoint crossing, fighting spirit, so another nice stats. It's starting to look like something here, actually. Now we need Leao there and then Tonali here, and I think things are looking good. Krunic, Daniel Maldini, Ante Rebic. Let's do Rafael Leao. We can max him at 90. Pretty good offensive player. Good ball control. Very quick. Prolific winger. He's also a super sub, so you might want to use him as a super sub. We might actually go with Ante Rebic on the left. We can go with Ante Rebic on the left, and then we can go with Rafael Leao as a super sub off the bench, and then we don't have El Shaarawy on the bench, but we have Leao instead. So Rebic here, you can max him at 90. Just gonna check real quick. I think he might be a super sub as well. So both Rebic and Leao are super subs. So who you want to start right here, it's basically up to you. But I think it's nice to have like the super subs on the bench. So here we have Rebic. And then Tonali is gonna be in here, and I think this team is pretty good. We will be good to go. 2021. Tomori, not gonna be room for Tomori, but he's a pretty good player also. Diogo Dalot can play right wing, right back. Here we have Tonali. Well, Tonali maxes at 91. I think he is an orchestrator, right? Pretty good defensive skills, good passing, decent speed. Anchorman. Double touch. He can dribble a little bit, he can shoot from range, he can pass, he has interception. Pretty good player. I mean, Tonali, Locatelli next to each other, looking pretty solid. George, I saw that post earlier today, and I was gonna mention it. So I'm gonna just finish this squad build, and I'm gonna show the Reddit thread so we can take a look at it together. Okay, Brahim Diaz, not gonna have room. Hauge, no. Mandzukic, is he still in the game? I don't think so. I guess I guess the backup goalie here is gonna be Mike Maignan, right? Let's see. I think we're good to go here. Could also go with Florenzi out here if you don't like Calabria. Maybe we should do Florenzi on the bench instead of De Ziglio. I mean, Florenzi can play basically anywhere. Which I think is an advantage compared to De Ziglio, who can only play on the fullback positions. So we have a backup right here who can play basically anywhere, very versatile. Junior Messias, Giroud. We need room for Giroud. Giroud is also a super sub. So you can max Giroud at 89. You get a target guy with great offensive skills, good heading. He actually has decent passing. His speed is gonna be, you know, he's not quick. But he's a target guy. He can finish. Needs a super sub. And although Andres Silva is probably a better card, Andres Silva is not a super sub. So we're going to go with Piatek and Giroud on the bench here. So we have the super subs. And then Ibrahimovic is going to be the starter. Yeah, Mario, I guess De Ziglio is kind of like a very average player, right? He might look better in games in eFootball and Football Manager than he actually is in real life. Okay, let's go to the current season, and then I think we're good. This team is actually looking pretty decent. This guy is very interesting, De Ketelaere. If you find room for him, he definitely could play. Also, Yassine Adli is looking pretty good as an up-and-coming player. This guy is going to be pretty good. But I don't think it's going to be better than any of these guys. Divock Origi. I mean, Origi, another super sub you can use here. I think Piatek probably is a little bit sharper. I mean, there's no way Divock Origi has better finishing than Piatek. So I think this is a good setup here. At least for me, I think this is looking good for this formation. You could also tweak this so you get a 4-2-1-3, just like the Ajax setup we had. Then you have Rebic as the left winger and Suso as the right winger. So I mean, you have a lot of options here, especially with the squad AC Milan has in real life the last couple of seasons. They're starting to build a really good team. You have like Brahim Diaz, De Ketelaere, I mean, all these guys who probably are going to become much better than they are now. But I mean, for established players, these guys are looking a little bit better, I think. You got a nice mix of current and present players. I mean, current and former players here. So we're going to save this. Bam. I think it's looking pretty good. What do you guys think? I really like that you have these guys as super subs. Really gives you a lot of flexibility, like late in the games. Having these guys off the bench. If you really need to score some goals late in the games, you know, you can keep like the structure here with the 4-3. And then you can put this guy up here as a second striker and this guy as a third striker, and then you can put on these guys and you can go with 3 forwards late in the games, 3 super subs. That could give you like a real advantage late in the games. So George linked something in the Discord. I'm going to show you guys over on Reddit, just so you know. I just need to open it here. So basically there's a guy writing that if you have a red card and you know you're going to lose, you can just quit the game. And then that player will not be suspended for the next game. So I guess that is something that is nice to know. If you're in a game like you know you're gonna lose the game, and just avoid the suspension. Okay, so I need to do some stuff now, so we're gonna end the stream. But we build a couple of pretty good teams, I think. We build first the Ajax team. I think the Ajax team is looking a little bit more interesting to play with than this AC Milan team, but this Milan team is also looking pretty good. So these are definitely 2 teams we could build inside the game eventually, but I think I'm going to use the rewards on Thursday to build the Ajax team first, and then try to get to Division 1 with that Ajax team. Let's see if I can... Where can I find like my teams? What? Just take another look at it. So this is the Ajax team I built earlier in the stream. We have Onana in goal, Tagliafico, De Ligt, Alderweireld, and Dest back 4. Then we have Gravenberg and Frankie de Jong at midfield, with Donny Vanderbeck as the attacking whole-player midfielder. And up top, Tadic, Suarez, and Antony. And on the bench we have Silsen, Vertonghen, Blint, Ziyech, Eriksen, David Neres, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So a pretty good team. There's no super subs though on this team. Like, that is maybe a drawback of the way I built this starting this squad compared to the AC Milan squad, where we actually have super subs on the bench. So like tactically, maybe this is a better setup for getting the most out of your team, because you have the super subs right here with Leao, Piatek, and Giroud. But yeah, in the next like squad building session, we're gonna do PSG as requested earlier here today, and by Richie, and then we're gonna also do Inter Milan, I think. So we're gonna do these like squad building sessions like in between, like live streams where I don't want to play any games, you know. I want to do more like different type of content, not only do gameplay all the time. I think the gameplay is becoming a little bit tired. There's nothing new in the game, and there's not that much new stuff to do. I've tried like a lot of the formations, I've tried a lot of the playstyles. I think what eFootball is gonna need now is some new game modes, and I don't know. at least we're having a little bit of fun by building these theme teams, and that gives the game a little bit of a different aspect than just fielding your best starting 11. But yeah, I need to go now. I will maybe be back later with some gameplay. But enjoy your Sunday, guys. I might see you later. Take care and stay safe, and thanks for watching. See you guys later, okay? Have a nice day.